Imagine landing in the United States in April 2026 after visiting family overseas. You walk confidently to passport control, hand over your green card, and within minutes you're escorted into secondary inspection. An officer shows you a detailed record of every trip you've taken in the past 3 years. Then you hear the words that could change your life. We believe you may have abandoned your permanent resident status. This is not an exaggeration. Since January 2026, enforcement of continuous residence rules for green card holders has intensified at major airports and border crossings. If you ignore what's happening right now, you could lose your permanent resident status and spend thousands of dollars trying to fight it. Welcome to USA Visa Policy. Today, I'm going to explain exactly what's changing in 2026, who is most at risk, and what you must do immediately to protect your green card. Let's start with the core issue. U.S. immigration law has always required green card holders to maintain the United States as their primary residence. What changed in early 2026 is enforcement. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is now using enhanced data systems that combine your entry and exit records with tax filings, employment data, and prior immigration history. Officers no longer rely only on what you say at the airport. They see your full travel pattern instantly. The most important number you need to remember is 180 days. If you stay outside the United States for more than 6 months in a single trip, officers can presume that you abandoned your residency. Presume does not mean automatic cancellation, but it means the burden of proof shifts to you. You must prove that you never intended to give up your U.S. home. But here's what many green card holders misunderstand in 2026. Even if you return before 6 months every time, your overall travel pattern matters. If over a 3-year period you have spent more time outside the United States than inside, that can trigger serious questioning. This is already happening. Green card holders who routinely spend 4 to 5 months each year abroad are being pulled into secondary inspection. Officers are presenting detailed breakdowns of their time outside the country. Some individuals have been asked to sign forms voluntarily surrendering their green cards. Others have been placed in removal proceedings. Who is most at risk right now? Retirees who split their time between the United States and another country are at the top of the list. If you live in the U.S. part of the year and spend long periods abroad because of lower living costs or family ties, you are under increased scrutiny. People caring for elderly or sick relatives overseas are also vulnerable. Immigration law does not automatically excuse long absences for compassionate reasons. If you stay abroad for medical or family emergencies, you must prove your absence was temporary and that you maintained strong U.S. ties. Employees of international companies are another high-risk group, even if your employer is American. If you are physically working abroad for 8 or 9 months at a time, that can weaken your claim that the United States is your primary residence. Students who return to their home country for long-term education programs and green card holders managing businesses or property overseas are also facing more questioning in 2026. So how do officers decide whether you abandoned your residency? First, physical presence. You should be spending more than half of each calendar year physically in the United States. Second, tax compliance. You must file U.S. tax returns as a resident and report worldwide income. Filing as a non-resident for tax purposes can severely damage your case. Third, employment location. Where are you actually working? Long-term foreign assignments can count against you. Fourth, family location. If your spouse and children live outside the United States while you only visit occasionally, that suggests your primary residence may not be in America. Fifth, residential ties. Do you own or rent a home in the U.S.? Do you maintain bank accounts, credit cards, insurance, utilities, and a driver's license? These details matter. Now let's talk about protection. If you know before leaving that you may be outside the United States for more than 6 months, apply for a reentry permit. You must file while physically in the U.S. and complete your biometrics appointment before departure. In 2026, the filing fee is approximately $660. Compared to losing your green card, that is a small investment. A reentry permit allows you to remain outside the U.S. for up to 2 years without automatically being considered to have abandoned your status. It does not eliminate all questioning, but it provides strong evidence that your absence was temporary. However, understand this clearly. A reentry permit protects your green card status, but it does not guarantee that you maintain continuous residence for naturalization. If you plan to apply for U.S. citizenship, you generally must be physically present in the United States for at least half of the 5 years before applying. A single absence longer than 6 months can disrupt your eligibility unless you prove otherwise. If you are already outside the United States and approaching 6 months, return as soon as possible. Bring documentation showing your U.S. ties, tax returns, mortgage or lease agreements, employment letters, medical records explaining your absence, and evidence of family connections. If you have been outside for more than 1 year without a reentry permit, you may need to apply for an SB, one returning resident visa, at a U.S. consulate. Approval is not guaranteed, and if denied, you may have to start the immigration process again from the beginning. Another dangerous misconception is believing that as long as your green card has not expired, you are safe. The expiration date only applies to the physical card. Your obligation to maintain U.S. residence exists at all times. Conditional permanent residents face additional complications. If you are in the 2-year conditional period and you are abroad when it is time to file to remove conditions, you risk losing your status entirely. Here are the practical steps you should take starting today. Track every day you spend outside the United States. Maintain active financial and residential ties. Avoid single trips longer than 180 days unless absolutely necessary and protected by a reentry permit. File taxes on time as a resident. And consult an experienced immigration attorney before accepting long-term foreign assignments. The enforcement environment in 2026 is stricter than it has been in years. Officers have better data and clearer authority. Thousands of green card holders are facing unexpected challenges at airports. A green card is not a travel visa. It is permanent residence. That means the United States must truly be your primary home. If this information helped you understand the risks, share this video with anyone who holds a green card. Subscribe to USA Visa Policy and turn on notifications so you stay updated on every major immigration change in 2026. Protect your residency. Protect your future. I'll see you in the next update.